Hi, I'm Bud Hettinger. If you donated money for a good cause, beware. There's a scam in Central Florida. What's really happening to your money? The story coming up on the 10 o'clock news.
Central Florida's only prime-time news, the 10 o'clock news on 18 WKCF.
He's been up a tree all day. Is a black bear still a threat to a Central Florida neighborhood? A warning to anyone getting calls for charity donations. Are you the next target? And the verdict is returned in the trial of a Central Florida teacher accused of having sex with a student. Good evening, I'm Bud Hettinger. We're glad you're with us. A Central Florida high school teacher is a free man tonight as a Seminole County jury finds George Sellers not guilty against him. 10 o'clock news reporter Elliot Lewis has our top story.
George Sellers. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the charge, not guilty. Count 2, not guilty.
George Sellers stood quietly as the jury acquitted him of all 9 counts against him, but some members of his family found it hard to contain their emotions. The Lake Howell High School teacher stood accused of having several sexual encounters with a 17-year-old student.
Justice has been done, and at this point I'd like to make no further comments. I'm going home. Thank you.
During the trial, defense attorneys had suggested Sellers' accuser leveled the charges to try to make money. In the end, jurors apparently had doubts about the young woman's story.
Obviously, I think there was enough evidence to convict him, but it's a jury's decision, and I respect that decision.
This has been a tragedy in our lives, but it's now finished. Our attorneys are just outstanding, and the Lord has helped us find justice.
While neither Sellers nor his family would talk about his future plans, his attorney says he one day hopes to return to the classroom.
He wants to be a teacher. He's been a teacher for 19 years. Obviously an outstanding teacher, and I think that's what his goal is, to return to teaching.
The accusations against Sellers first surfaced last spring. At one point, he faced 12 charges, but prosecutors later dropped 3 of them for lack of evidence. In the meantime, Sellers lost his teaching position tonight.
Ellie, it's just stories like these played out in the full light of media scrutiny that leave you asking the questions. Where does a George Sellers go to get his reputation back?
Well, in fact, he was asked about that as he left the courtroom this evening, and he simply said that he will repair it.
We wish him well. Elliot Lewis, thank you. Are you even safe these days when criminals are in jail? One Central Florida sheriff says no. Osceola County Sheriff Charlie Croft says overcrowding at the county prison is reaching a state of emergency now and that your safety is actually in jeopardy. He urges the county commission to do something and do it quickly. More than 600 inmates are crammed into a jail only designed for 450. The problem escalated when a convicted murderer escaped and when a rapist was accidentally set free. Many, including Sheriff Croft, hope something will be done soon. In Osceola County, a flight in the sheriff's helicopter proves costly as the chopper crash lands at Kissimmee Municipal Airport. Deputies say the pilot was hovering just above ground when something caused the two-seater to tumble, flipping on the ground and bending its rotors. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but the $150,000 chopper may be a total loss. He says he was protecting his home, but police say he was protecting something else. When a man walked into his yard near Mount Dora with a gun, Kenny Matty decided to shoot. And now Matty is hurt and the intruder is dead. Matty says he shot the man after a second suspect shot him. Matty's injuries are not serious, but his legal troubles could be. Police say they found an indoor marijuana farm in his mobile home. So far, Matty isn't charged. Police are still looking for the second suspect, and the person killed has not yet been identified. Orange County deputies investigated 88 home invasions last year, and 90 to 95% of them were drug-related. They've taken millions of dollars from Floridians, all under the guise of helping police. And you may even have gotten a call, but there is a warning tonight for you to beware. Solicitors are sending letters to mostly elderly residents asking for donations to help police. The latest cases are being reported in Satellite Beach. Police chiefs are warning residents not to donate to campaigns like the Safe Streets Coalition or the American Federation of Police. The reason is less than 2% of the money is ever seen by local law enforcement agencies, if at all.
Oh, they tell you their name and why they are calling and would you contribute to such and such a cause. Oh, yes, it's a gimmick.
Police chiefs warn if you do get correspondence, a letter from the local police agency should accompany any request for donations. But authorities advise people to make any donations in person. We all pay a high price for crime in our country, but how high? Well, try at least $450 billion a year. A survey done for the U.S. Justice Department calculates out-of-pocket expenses like legal fees, lost wages, and police work. They also factored in emotional loss and a decline in the quality of life. The survey, though, does not count the cost of jails, which would add another $40 billion to the total. Experts say the survey points out how heavy a burden crime and the fear of crime puts on all of us. Well, the black bear that found itself up a tree in DeLand today is back down on the ground tonight. 10 o'clock news reporter Trace Gallagher is in DeLand now, where the bear has, I guess, suddenly disappeared, right, Trace?
So you'll understand if I keep looking over my shoulder, but yeah, the bear has not been seen in about an hour and a half. It disappeared into these woods and has not resurfaced, but that's okay because behind these woods there's a golf course back there and then some more woods. So after squatting in this neighborhood for some 10 hours tonight the bear can roam free. What goes up must come down in due time. This black bear went out on a limb and stayed there for 10 hours, long enough to attract quite a crowd. The bear wasn't stuck, mind you, just hanging out. When the bear finally had its fill of fans, sunshine, and publicity, it came down. At its own pace, of course. That's why they don't say quick as a bear. Now, this 300 or so pound animal is not supposed to be a threat to humans. In fact, Florida Game and Fish says the bear is more afraid of us than we are of it. Apparently, Game and Fish didn't talk to Patty Hersey. Before the bear went up the tree, it went in her backyard.
I thought I was seeing things, yes. And that thing looked me straight in the eye. about 5 feet away from me. And I looked at him and I went, oh my God, what the heck is that? And I said, looked in, I said, oh my God, I'm seeing things. And that's exactly what I seen, is a big old bear.
And now that the bear has crossed the road, all Game and Fish will do is watch it and hope it keeps going.
What we'd like to do is avoid tranquilizing if we can. Right now the bear's heading, we believe, to the southeast, which is the direction that we'd like the bear to head, and so we'd like to let it just travel on its own at this point.
And that bear could travel on its own for quite some distance. Florida black bears have been tracked some 120 miles. Bud, we may never see this bear again.
Well, that'll be better for us, better for him, too, I imagine, Trace.
I think so.
All right, that's the story in DeLand. Now, you may be wondering, what are your chances a bear will attack you in the state of Florida? Well, believe it or not, state wildlife officers don't even have one black bear attack on record. Deadly bear maulings you hear about mostly involve the big grizzlies out west. When the 10 o'clock news returns, this looks like a regular traffic stop, but in a few seconds, this officer will have a close brush with death. Famed attorney F. Lee Bailey blames O.J. Simpson for part of his trouble in Florida. We'll explain that. And later, is a local attraction safe for you to ride?
And also coming up later on in the show, a warm weather forecast, so stay with us.
You're watching Central Florida's only 10 o'clock news on 18 WKCF.
The 10 o'clock news is brought to you in part by your Central Florida Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Can you tell the luxury car from the one that delivers the most value? This car was recently chosen by the Robb Report, a publication renowned for its discriminating taste, as one of the top 5 luxury cars.
I find now
if you
just
It's not so bad. Now what comes next?
between a brutal murder and a sentence of death.
You make your damn report, then you can kill me with a clear conscience.
She discovered her courage.
I'm not playing your game.
Kept her dignity.
Can you tell me what it is I have to say to you to get you to want to save your own life?
And faced the truth.
I'm not begging for mercy. I'm not going to get.
Sharon Stone.
I do not want to die, but if I do, it's going to be on my terms.
Last Dance, rated R, starts Friday, May 3rd.
60,000 felons and fugitives tried to buy handguns but couldn't because President Clinton passed the Brady Bill. 5-day waits, background checks. But Dolan Gingrich voted no. 100,000 new police because President Clinton delivered. Dolan Gingrich, vote no. Want to repeal them. Strengthen school anti-drug programs. President Clinton did it. Dolan Gingrich, no again. Their old ways don't work. President Clinton's plan, the new way, meeting our challenges, protecting our values.
These are two great weed and grass killers. They both kill weeds permanently, roots and all. You can use them where children and pets play. They both break down into natural compounds. What's my point? Time. That one takes 1 to 2 weeks. Finale takes 1 to 4 days, and you'll see it work in 24 hours. That makes Finale 4 times faster than that one, and the weeds are just as dead. Finale, probably the fastest permanent weed and grass killer in the world. Finale, it's about time.
10 ways to know the guys at 911 on a first-name basis. Buy your safety gear through Ed's Discount Warehouse. Start a Burley Man's home cleaning service. Bring a really big stick to your next piñata party. Take flying lessons from an ex-cab driver. Work out at one of those really cheap gyms. Stage dive at the next Don Ho Festival. Try to catch a ball and put out a fire at the same time. Take ski lessons from that agony of defeat guy. And the #1 way, be late for America's funniest videos.
We knew her as the housewife humorist who used her wry sense of humor to make us laugh at life in the suburbs. But today, Irma Bombeck died at the hospital where she had a kidney transplant a few weeks ago. Doctors say she died of complications from that operation. Irma Bombeck, beloved by all Americans, was 69. He's out of jail, and now F. Lee Bailey is blaming the O.J. Simpson verdict for his length of his stay in a Florida federal lockup. The famed attorney got out of a Tallahassee prison Friday after spending 44 days there on a contempt charge. He says the country has rejected the Simpson verdict, and anyone associated with the defense effort is paying a price. And he says he had trouble getting banks to lend him the money he needed to win his freedom. They knew the tornadoes were coming, but folks in Arkansas and Oklahoma were helpless in the face of nature's rampage. Last night's twisters tore through Fort Smith, Arkansas, leaving 4 dead, dozens injured, hundreds homeless, and survivors dazed and bewildered. An artist saw his studio destroyed, his life's work wiped out.
I just laid in the floor, and I thought, well, I think this thing's going to cave in on me, so I began to start crawling down into the basement.
The twisters were the worst in an onslaught of tornadoes that stormed across the southern plains. Talk about a brush with death. This state trooper in Columbia, South Carolina sure had one. Watch this pickup truck sideswipe him as he talks to the driver of a car on the side of the road yesterday. Here it is again in slow motion. That thing you see flying there, that's the pickup side view mirror. The trooper's okay. In fact, he chased down the pickup driver and arrested him for driving under the influence. Still ahead for you here tonight, a ride at a local amusement park is literally falling apart. Are riders safe? And tomorrow you'll be able to buy a piece of Camelot, but at what price? And right now, this priceless stretch of weather continues. What a night in the City Beautiful. Orlando with clear skies and 73 degrees, and Pamela right after this break.
Tonight's news is brought to you by your Central Florida Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
In creating the Chrysler Sebring convertible, we didn't just chop the top off a coupe. Sebring's new from the ground up. It's different from other convertibles. It's cab forward, of course. In fact, it has more rear legroom and more trunk space than any other convertible. Sebring also has a rigid frame to help keep it quiet. And it gets very different when you look at everything it comes with, including the price. That's the biggest difference of all.
Enter the Your Choice sweepstakes at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer today.
What's this? What's this? It must be something new. What's this? Whatever does it do? What's this? I can't believe my eyes. Everywhere I turn, what's this? Another big surprise. What's this? What's this? What's this? I've never seen it done. What's this? It really looks like fun. What's this? Suddenly the night becomes a spectacle of light and having fun. We're having fun, yeah! What is this? Epcot. Discover how much fun it is.
What's this?
It's a fact. For $500 at an ordinary carpet store, you'd get about this much carpet. At GCO, your Georgia carpet outlet, you could get this much, or this much. Why? Because at GCO, the most you can pay for carpet is $14 a square yard every day. Why settle for less? Go to GCO now and save.